Hi guys, it's Tom here. In this video we're going to go over the D7 retirement or passive income visa for Portugal. This is a great option. We're going to go over the full process for the visa processing, and in part 2, which will be a separate video, the next video in the series, I'll be talking about the pathway to permanent residence and citizenship under this visa route. So this is the time frame that we'll come to in a moment, but I'll just explain how much income you actually require under this route. This is quite striking. So as the main applicant, maybe male or female, you would need the equivalent of 635 euros per month, which is the equivalent of 7,620 per year. That's euros. So that must be in the form of passive income. It could be a pension, but does not have to be a pension. And I'll just go to the legislation, which you can see here. So it needs to be either a pension income, or in the case of a foreign citizen living on income, which is movable or immovable property, so rental income, intellectual property or financial investments. And you need to produce evidence of its availability to you, including when you're in Portugal. So what this could be is evidence of income in the form of company dividends, as long as you're not playing an active role in a company. So you can't be the owner manager, but you need to be the owner. Clearly you can structure your income to achieve this result. I think where this is particularly useful is people who have rental income and they have it at least this sum. Now you can also bring family members. Let's go to the next slide. So you can bring your spouse, and the amount that you would need for your spouse is 50% of the sum that I stated. So that would be 3,810 per year. That's euros. For children under 18, that would be the equivalent of 190 and 50 cents. That's euros per month, and 2,286 euros per year. And for children, this is quite interesting as well, for children from 18 to realistically 24, there's no real upper limit, but you've got to show dependency and that they are studying. Then you can also bring them for the same amount. So you need to show for each individual child of yours over the age of 18 that they are studying and that you have at least that sum, so 2,286 per year. So I think the interesting thing about this is, you may have seen in my last video, which I'm doing a full version of shortly, on the D2 visa, you can effectively come as a freelancer and be put on a pathway to permanent residence, and you can run any business. There's no real restrictions on the business that you run, subject to regulatory approvals, but this visa process is actually faster, and if you can show that passive income, you can work on this visa. So you can work on the retirement or passive income visa, the D7 route. So it may be easier for you, rather than going through a business plan process, which you must do for the D2 visa. You may want to simply, if you've got sufficient passive income or rental income, for example, to come under a D7 visa, and then you can still run your business or work, as the case may be. Incidentally, if you would like assistance with any of the visa routes that I talk about on this channel, in this case I deliver that with my Portugal partner, then I'd be very happy to speak with you. You can arrange a free consultation. If you click on the link below, I'm actually doing a full course on this and other visa routes, so you can check that out. My details on my website. As I say, just check out the link below after this live stream. Also feel free to subscribe if you wish, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I produce my next videos. Let's just go to the other slides and some important points that I wanted to make. In terms of documents, in addition to the ones that I've highlighted here, so evidence of these specified kinds of income, you will need to bear in mind the time frame. Now the time frame is as follows. Here, by the way, I've just put the really worst case scenario. For example, where it's up to 90 days, I've put it in as 90 days, and I've given a hypothetical year, which is this year, applying as at to today's date. just to give you an idea of what it would look like. And so in this case, it would go into 2021, but that's only because I've put the maximum timeframes here. So for example, the 90-day period that I've set out here, so they get 90 days to give you a decision once you're in Portugal. I'll explain that in a moment. That's the full 90 days there. But it may, in a recent case, it only took 3 weeks rather than 90 days. So this time frame may be substantially shorter than this. So this is just a worst case scenario. So the starting point is that you would complete the application form and submit it to the consulate. It's an online application through a portal, and you need to choose a date. Now that date may be something like 2 or 3 months away typically. So it's good to plan ahead. One of the documents you would need is you need to evidence that you have booked a flight. So you would need details of that. And you would typically only do that once you've got your appointment, because only once you've got your appointment that you know that you can travel. I'm just going to circle that you have. You would need to book your flight. So in this case, it would be on the 25th of March. I've put here as a 60-day time frame, which is typical, but it could be 90 days. Now you would then attend at the consulate appointment, drop off your papers, and you'll ask questions. There's not so much a formal interview process as a sort of question and answer session. If they want to check anything about your income, any details of your income, check any details of your criminal record certificate, for example. If you are an English speaker, then the session can be in English, so there's no need for it to be in Portuguese if you don't speak Portuguese. And incidentally, again, that's not a requirement under this route. As I mentioned in my last video, if you do want to go through to permanent residence and citizenship, then there's a requirement that you get to A2 Portuguese, but that's in 5 years' time, and that's a very basic level. So I imagine that most people would not struggle with getting to grips with that in a few months. In this scenario, I've put that your application would be granted within this period by the 22nd of September in this example. So I've put in 80 days here. It can take 4 to 6 months to process the application. And when it's granted, you get a 90 day residence permit for you to come to Portugal. It can be for 4 months in the first instance, and the appointment that you get would normally be within say a month or 2 months. You then need to wait 90 days to get a decision, and that's a mandatory period. So as I say, in a recent example, that was as little as 3 weeks. Now, if that 90 days runs over the 4 months, then it's fine. As long as you've lodged your application, and you're in the system, and it will be processed. And then here you would get, after the 90 days is up, a temporary residence permit that's granted for 1 year. But this is soon to change. The legislation is to change to make it a two-year period. In the second part of this video, I'm going to go over the full pathway to permanent residence and citizenship under this route. At the moment, you get 1 year. So initially you get the 4 months, then 1 year, and then you extend twice, so 2 years and then 2 years. And once you're up to the 5-year period, then you can apply for permanent residence and citizenship. But that is likely to be changed soon to a 2-year residence permit plus then a 3-year residence permit. But the renewals are effectively a formality. You do need to show that you continue to have the passive income, which is the cornerstone of this route. In terms of the legislation, the residence visa legislation is set out here. It highlights the period of 4 months, and then again, just to highlight that a decision is issued within a mandatory period. In the next video, as I say, I'll go over the pathway to permanent residence and citizenship. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in tomorrow's live stream. Thanks, and bye for now.